Come manifest your best life with 190 Vision.
What is your name?
My name is Kaelee.
All right, Kaelee. Will you please give us a little bit of background information about yourself?
Okay. I am 36. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This is where I was born and raised. And right now I am currently working in sales. I just got out of mental health. I was doing that for the last 5 years.
Oh, what did you do with mental health?
I was a level 2 case manager and I worked as a behavioral health rehabilitation specialist at a counseling office.
Wow. Okay. So what led you to 190 Vision?
Um, let's see. I started having a lot of health issues actually, and I had gone to see a naturopathic doctor, and she was under the impression that I had parasites from these symptoms that I was experiencing. And something kept telling me to look on Facebook for a Healing Healers Facebook page. Today I know that that was Mother Mary. And someone had posted something on there about some stomach issues that she was having. And I saw your comment on it. And I just kind of replied underneath it, like, "Hi, Laura, could you reach out to me as well? I'm having some similar issues." And then I sent you a message and you told me about the paradigm shift training. And that was in August.
Okay. So then you started with training, but did you also receive help at that time? Like fill out a consent form to receive help?
I did. I hopped on the 190 Facebook page. I filled out the consent form and got you guys all of my information. And I honestly, I think that the paradigm shift training started almost like a week or maybe 10 days after that. It was very quick. It all lined up very well for me.
Okay. So what kind of physical challenges were you having at the time?
Oh, yes. First, I lost about 20 pounds, and I'm already a very tiny person. I really didn't have 20 pounds to lose. I could see my ribs, my backbones, the hip bones in my body. I was,
Over what time of what time frame are we talking about that you lost this 20 pounds that
I
had you
would
concerned?
say, let's see, it was probably over about 6 to 8 months that I dropped the weight.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
All
And
right.
that was what started the symptoms we're in 2023. In 2021, the summer of 2021 was when I initially dropped the weight, and then more symptoms started to surface. And so I reached out to you guys in August of 2022 after I'd kind of been on a little bit of a roller coaster with the health.
Okay. So your body dropped 20 pounds of weight. What other symptoms were you having?
I started experiencing a lot of brain fog, short-term memory loss, a lot of stomach issues. I would either be constipated or have diarrhea. There was bleeding in the bowels from time to time. A lot of anxiety, and I would eat very ravenously. Like I was always hungry, and whenever I wasn't eating, um, if I felt like I had to eat every couple hours, because if I wasn't constantly putting food into my body, I would almost get like really shaky. If I would stand up, I would get lightheaded. Um, I had very bad headaches. I thought that they were migraines, but they weren't migraines. They were just very bad headaches. Trying to think if I left anything out. There was a lot of symptoms that I was experiencing.
Okay. Now, prior to losing all that weight and then having all these symptoms appear, what was your health like?
Uh, I had the typical sinus infection maybe once or twice a year, usually always around the same time. I would get the sinus infection.
Mhm.
But other than that, I have experienced depression throughout most of my life, but that's in regards to like mental health, not physical health.
Mhm.
But I think that and a little bit of allergies, but other than that, I don't think that my health has been pretty overall pretty well.
Okay. So pretty good overall. Mentally, you said depression, and then all of a sudden it comes to this point where you just all of a sudden drop all this weight and you get all these symptoms. Were you still experiencing the depression and the sinus issues at that time?
Oh yes, yes, yes. The depression did not surface really until started to surface maybe a couple months before I found 190 vision, and it's just continued to improve drastically. And I also started to experience after the weight loss, maybe about 1 or 2 months after the initial weight loss, I started experiencing anxiety, and I had never experienced that before in my life, and it was very kind of paralyzing.
What kind of anxiety? How did it affect you?
Um, you know, it really made it hard to function. I could feel it in my chest. It kind of felt like someone was sitting on my chest.
Mm.
I started having social anxiety whenever I would go places, so I didn't want to go places. I started to isolate even more. And then with the weight loss, I really didn't even want to be seen because I felt so tiny and I was so insecure about that. So I think that that just compounded the anxiety and made it, even worse. Um, I like to overthink about things, so I think that the anxiety just fueled that as well. And so it was just kind of all adding to the fire of it.
Now, did this affect your ability to work your job?
Oh yes, absolutely, it did. And luckily, once COVID happened, we shifted to where being a case manager, I could work from home.
Mhm.
And so that was a very big blessing at the time because I wasn't having to be in an office. And if I needed to reschedule a client or move something around, then I could. And I was also, I think, like at the comfort of my own home. So that helped whenever I would have the anxiety that would pop up. But absolutely, there were days where I would have to reschedule a whole entire day of clients.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah,
Now,
it was challenging.
you said that because you're so very thin that your self-esteem was low. So what kind of things did you do in regard to that?
Oh, I wore extremely baggy clothes. I went out and I got baggy sweatpants. I was always in, big hoodies and like a baseball cap. I just kind of, even in the summertime, and in the summertime, I wouldn't get in a swimsuit around anybody. I didn't want to be in one. I didn't want people to see me. So I really just did whatever I could do to wear the baggy clothes and kind of conceal like the physical body so people couldn't see how thin I was. And then you run into somebody like at the store or whatever, and they give you a hug and they're like, "Oh, you're so tiny," and it's like, not helping the insecurities. Like they don't know what I was experiencing, but it just kind of made me become more reclusive and not want to get out in public because of the possibility of running into somebody that I might know and they might see me. And then, there's also some things from my past that, so it was challenging.
All right. So now you're at this point, you've lost all this weight, you have all these different symptoms. You mentioned that you went to a doctor who said you had parasites. Please, going back to when you started having all these symptoms, share with us what were the things that you tried to do to help counter what was happening to you?
Well, first I went to my regular doctor, my primary care physician, and he accused me of having an eating disorder.
Okay.
Yes. So that was kind of when I started to shift to a more non-traditional, like not a Western approach to healing things. I started working with a personal trainer, and that was in December, at the end of 2022. And so I started going to the gym 6 days a week, and I was doing very like heavy lifting, big workouts. I was working out very hard.
Okay.
And she was also having me count my macros. So I was counting my protein, my calories, my carbs, keeping track of the water intake. And I was eating 125 grams of protein a day, and which was a lot of protein.
Uh-huh.
And doing like pre-workout shakes, post-workout shakes, protein shakes, just like anything and everything that I could do to try and get the physical weight back on the body.
Did it work?
I think I gained 5 pounds, but
Over
what
how much time?
5 months.
A pound a month.
Right?
Okay.
But when I was going, like before I would go to the gym, I would have to eat a huge meal. And then I would go to the gym, I would work out. And right after I left the gym, I was having to go home and eat another huge meal almost instantly. Because if I didn't, and including a protein shake, if I didn't do that, like I would get very shaky and just, I just felt like ill. I felt like off. And my body would almost kind of like start to shut down in a way.
Learn more about 190 Vision through one of the following methods. On YouTube and Spotify, there are numerous topics that are discussed that could apply to your life. Roku TV and Amazon Fire have actual experiences told by the individuals who received help through 190 Vision. To connect with others who are on a similar path as you, join our Facebook group. To receive help, go to our website, 190vision.com, then click on the Help Me tab to get started. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the Donate button, which is located at the bottom of each page of our website.